Hi, it's Miss Sherry. I'm here to tell you another story from the Bible, and we know everything in the Bible is true. This story happened shortly after Jesus came back to life. Now, not all the disciples, all of his friends, had seen him yet, and they didn't understand what was happening. Was he really alive? Was he dead? Well, one day, two of them were walking on the road to a city called Emmaus. And they were talking about how sad they were that Jesus had died, when suddenly a man came up. We've seen this picture before in other videos. Who is that? Yeah, this is our picture for Jesus. And Jesus came up and started talking to them. Were they excited? No, because they didn't recognize him. They didn't know that this was Jesus, even though he was their friend. Well, Jesus started to talk to them. Why are you sad? What happened? And they told Jesus all about the things that had happened, about how Jesus had been arrested and killed, and was there a story? Was he alive? What's going on? So Jesus began to teach them. And he began to teach them about everything in the Bible, all the stories we have learned, all the way back to God creating the earth and everything else. And he taught them that all of those stories were about one thing. They were about him, about how he is the Son of God and how he came to die for our sins. Well, they finally got to where they were going, and they sat down to eat. Jesus took the bread and he broke it just like he did, if you remember, a few weeks ago when they had their service together, their dinner. And when he blessed it, suddenly they could see. Have you ever had someone put their hands over your eyes and you couldn't tell who they were, and they go, "Guess who?" Well, suddenly when they remove their hands and you go, "Oh, I know who you are," it was like that happened. Their hands were removed from their eyes and they went, "You're Jesus!" And he disappeared. Now, this story is really interesting because of two things. One, they finally could see that it was Jesus. But two, they could finally see all the stories in the Bible were about one thing. It was like their hands had been removed from their eyes and they went, "It's all about Jesus." Every story that we learn here together tells us one thing, that Jesus is God's Son and that he loves us and died for our sins.